Three, two, one.
Hello, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a good time wherever you are. It was 2 weeks without supply chain on air shows, and it was really out of my hands. I'm really missing all of you. Days are flying, and today is my fifth episode of Supply Chain on Air. Before I start, as usual, I want to have some comments from all the audience who join us now and tell us the time. What time is it now in his country? From where he's watching us. I'm still waiting. We will not start our episode today before we have our audience comment here. Today we have a great topic with a great guest. Where are you guys? I'm still waiting. I believe we're still waiting some of our friends to join us. We don't need anyone to miss the massive information we will have today. Guys, someone will type now. I'm sure they are coming. Yes, we have Talat from Egypt. Yes, but I think it's 9. Hello again. Thank you, Nihal. She's always watching our shows. Ayman Hassan and waiting for your great discussion. Thank you, Ayman. Okay, our expert of today is the founder of Supply Chain Advisor, a sustainable supply chain global ambassador, business straits, author, blockchain speaker with a unique hands-on experience and the ability to provide a strategic lens as end-to-end supply chain manager. She is Jit Hinchman. Let's welcome Jit. Hi,
Hi,
Jit.
Shady. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here with you
Yes,
today.
thank you, Jit. I'm really so happy that you are joining my show today, and I'm sure we will have a massive information as usual from your shows and posts. You know, I'm one of your fans.
Oh, I'm one of your fans too. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. Our friends start to come. Islam, thank you, Islam. Proud of you, brother. Me too.
That's nice.
As usual, Jet. In a couple of minutes, we would like to know who is Jet.
Well, um, well, I am Jit Hinchman, you know that, and I start off my journey in supply chain many years ago when I was working for Mattel. That when I first exposed to supply chain. There was no school that teaching supply chain at the time where I was working, but Mattel want to implement that concept and theory into every factories around the world, and they want to be in line with the corporate in America, right? So I was part of the training team. I need to go to the other country to get a training, and went back home to train other people, and all that. That was the first time that when I first experienced supply chain. I have the background in engineering, of course, but I totally loved it. I loved the right mix between the business management and also solving problem, right? You solve the
Yeah,
problem, and those kind of thing, and things you need to work cross functional here and there, and we successfully implemented and make sure that everybody on the shop floor understand, everything we do, everything we touch, or everything that we throw away have cost in it. So it certainly I would say plant the seed of the love in supply chain for me at the time. So after that, for every role that I did, I just implemented along the way. And when I decided to want to go back to school and to update my knowledge and all that, so I decided to go to Florida Tech to get the degree in supply chain management because I think what else would I do? I love that thing and I want to learn more from the research perspective. So they did pretty well. So I enjoy the library, the resources, and people that I met, and the professors, of course. So and here we are talking to you.
Thank you, thank you. Very nice. And let me again express how much I'm happy that you are with me today. Our topic of today is supply chain trends. And I know it's a huge topic and we can't cover it in one show, but let us summarize it as much as we can. And let's
Yes.
start for our first question. Generally, Jet, tell me what is the meaning of supply chain trends?
Right. So it's supply chain trend is just like any other trend, right? You see that it's coming. You see at the horizon somewhere along the way that it's gonna coming from the future. That's gonna reach out to us and all that. So I would say supply chain trend. It is something that you see that is coming your way, but we pretty much focus on the supply chain industry. So to see what it is coming and how is it going to impact the organization and the professionals in general.
Exactly. Jet, since coronavirus pandemic, there have been several trends changing in the markets across the world, and supply chain have become an essential part of the business today. There are existing strategies put in place to enhance the business performance. But as you know, due to COVID-19, supply chainers face a post-pandemic recovery armed with the new techniques and new system practices. Supply chain management always taken about ensuring that we fulfill the customer demands, and in the same way, at the same time, sorry, the components of the business are running smoothly. But unfortunately, the pandemic made even more important for the business to stay on the top of the latest trends to development, especially in supply chain management. And being up to date to the latest changes will ensure to you stay resilient with the every change of the market. And here I have to ask you another question related to the same topic. During 2021 and 2020, we had top supply chain trends were highlighted due to the worldwide change. Can we list some of the supply chain trends, especially related to the industries?
Absolutely. So you are absolutely right. I like that you mentioned about the global pandemic. It certainly disrupt every industry. So
Yeah,
in but I think one thing that I'm really proud of the community around supply chain and logistics is we deal with the disruption since ancient time. So we have been doing that as long as the history goes. So during the Egypt time, Genghis Khan, those kind of thing. We have logistics and all that during
yeah,
it's in the army and all that. So one thing that you should be proud of is supply chain and logistics is pretty much adaptable, and we are trained to think systematically and see the end-to-end big picture, and also organizing the chaos. So that is something that ingrained into logistic and supply chain. That's why we are so collaborate with one another. We support one another because we know that our success depend on other people's work and success as well. So we can't success with just by ourselves. We need other people to work together to put all those puzzle together, right? So I'm glad you mentioned that. And yes, you are right. It used to be, behind the scene. People when people ask about what is supply chain, huh? What did you do? People don't really understand what it is, but the global
Yes.
pandemic certainly put the supply chain in the forefront, because when people realize the importance of supply chain and logistics, when the products that they need doesn't show up on the shelf anymore, because the pandemic stopped everything, right? So we have a little bit of hiccup there, but I think now everything is still on the shelf, and we managed to do it, still managed to move product across countries and all that. So to answer your question, what are the trends that we can talk about to list out? I don't think we can list all of it, but let's see the
Sure.
major.
Sure.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
major. So as we know that because of the lockdown, the customer demand certainly shift into the online shopping more, right? So that is the trend that people certainly have need to adjust into supply chain, digital supply chain. So it's certainly the forefront that every organization that try to stay afloat, try to make sure that have the digital supply chain that represent the physical supply chain as well, so that everything will flow smoothly and be able to reach out to the customer to the digital format and platform as well. So I think that is another trend. So we will see that digital supply chain is maturing in some way. So what we can say is that the gap between the advanced company and the lagger is getting wider, because not every company is able to put in place the infrastructure or the tools or the finance to support this transformation. So that is something that is certainly a concern, but we never know, right? Because everybody have their way to make it adaptable or work. I hope that um, companies and professionals themselves would see that this is a great opportunity that to improve whatever we think that is going to work in the future. Hopefully that whatever the disruption destroy, hopefully something that go out of it would create more opportunity. We just need to bite the bullet and do whatever need to be done so that we all grow together. So another one is again the external force like global pandemic. It's highlight that we need to have more shorter and more diversified supply chains. So this is nothing new in the professional. We heard that it's part of it because of the trade war as well, the conflict between countries and the trade policies and all that also prevent that as well. However, this is also the force from the customer, right? That they want to have more transparent and more ethical supply chains. So in the country or in the region that the law is strong and strictly reinforced is okay. But in some countries that, maybe they're smuggling drug, the logistic people or the supply chain don't have the authority to look into their product. So those become issue, right? So it is certainly not everybody want transparency in their system, and it come down to the point that you need to draw the line where you're gonna stand for it. Are you gonna move the product to get the profit out of it, to get the revenue? But in some way you need to answer yourself that if it is questionable, you need to deny it, because it's not worth it if you get caught, right? But anyway, it's just that is just part of it. And we can see that the new non-traditional supply chain model require new supply chain architects. Why did I say that? Because we used to traditional traditional supply chain, think of it as a linear, right? Moving from entity to entity. That the traditional supply chain that we do that. Now is have the birth of digital network that majority of the player or entity will connect with each other and will be in linear. However, it's just during the pilot. It's just under the pilot program and it's not fully implemented yet. And this is the trend that the professional need to pick up the pace and also the industry, the business needs to pick up the pace of training people with the new skill set as well. So new emerging
Yes. Yeah.
technology, how to choose the platform, or choose the technology that you are going to implement and all that. So those are some of the trend that we have, and we can't ignore that supply chain sustainability is on the rise as well. So the global pandemic, the COVID-19 certainly highlight the importance that we need to take care of the nature because we all are one, because we live in the nature, and we need to take care of our home planet, right? So because in some way it impact our well-being and our
Yes.
family and friend or people as well. So that would be
Yes.
the start or the trend that I would highlight for now.
Amazing. It's
Don't you agree
amazing.
with that?
And we, yes, we can point out the most important of supply chain management is the agility and how it absorbs changes, especially in the latest years. I think this is summarize of what you have said. Let's back to our lovely audience. We have Ahmed Musa. Hi, Shadi. Great session with the great Jet Hinchman. Yes, sure.
Oh,
Nihal, Jet, I'm pleased to hear both of you. Thank you, Nihal. We have question here from Ahmed Musa. Appreciate your great efforts in sustainability. He is talking to you, Jet, by the way. Would you give us a brief about the link between Industry 4.0, Logistics 4.0, circular economy, and sustainability?
wow. This is the question from the expert himself. Thank you, Ahmed Musa. Appreciate it. That is a big question, but I love it because it's certainly the link between Industry 4.0, Logistic 4.0, circular economy, and sustainability is certainly the trend as well. So I would say the link would be the way that the digital technology, the emerging technology that link all of that to be enabler of the foundation that make it work, right? If you look into the industry 4.0, the technology that industry 4.0 is certainly the foundation of the change, like logistic 4.0. What do we look into it? It's certainly more innovative transportation, right? We want more clean energy transportation. Some people even talking about autonomous truck, and all that. And some part of the country, some part of other countries as well already started that. They're already moving freight with autonomous truck and all that. So circular economy is certainly would help with the waste, eliminate waste and all that. Some part of the resources that we have in the world is no longer um, abundant like it used to be. So just like I always say that sustainability is started in 1713, started years ago in Germany, is appear in forestry industry. It means sustain yield and never harvest more than the forest or nature can reproduce in time, right? And what we have done because of the industrial era and the way we harvest, the way we make the profit out of the nature, it certainly take more than it sustain. So is reap at the rate that is faster than the nature can reproduce itself. So it come down to the dangerous to the point that we can see the impact that there is no enough forest anymore. I mean, I wish that every desert can regreening into the forest again. And I think this is the part that I really like because a lot of people are waking up and they see that we can do that. It's not just the part of the nature. Some of the old world map, we can see that some countries that now have a lot of deserts, it used to be very green. It used to be very abundant in the past. So what happened over generations is that we forgot we forgot how to take care of those, and now people start to realize that it's important to do so. So I think the link in those areas is certainly the technology. I think is a link because you look at all of those, technology is the key enabler to help those to build those foundation to link and to happen. Without technology, those are not going to happen, right? You look at the blockchain, look at the AI, machine learning, and all that, and Internet of Things. So those are the sensor that put in, each area that send the data into the core or the nervous system of the digital supply network. Without those, as a brain or neural, we will not have the real-time collaboration or data to share between parties. That's what I would say. Did I answer your question, Ahmed Musa?
Stunning, stunning answer. He is telling you it's really one of my interests these days, the link between these areas and how it affects our lives. Your answer was amazing, Jet. Um, Time is running, but I have to ask you more questions also. I need to learn from your answers. Just now we have some of the supply chain trends as you mentioned, but we need to know the impact on the organization and the business. And this is the main of the topic of today, as I mentioned in the post LinkedIn.
Right. So I think the impact of organization is certainly we need to be honest with ourselves, because a lot of organization, majority of organization around the world are still managed under the organizational chart, right? So the leader need to set the mission or where the direction of change that the company need to move forward. Now, when the digital supply chain come to the trend, we are no longer have the enough the leader in the position that have those kind of skill set. So we need to come down to the point that we need to hire more nerds into the team. We cannot just change or learn within just a few months and become talented right away, because we need to be true to ourselves and hire people with the skill set that would help to build the digital supply chain to be real and to be reality. So I think that is the thing that we need to do. So a lots of research like Gardner said that the top external force and having greatest impact on the supply chain resource, they highlight that the shortage of the supply chain talents that have the skill set for the new supply chain, for the digital supply chain. Why is that? First of all, the new digital supply chain need new skill set. A lot of them with the data science, data analytics, and all that need to have the ability to apply the technology like blockchain, AI, machine learning. Those are what? Those are usually come from computer background, right? You need to know the algorithm and know have the ability to choose the technology and all that. So what I would say is not only we need to be true to ourselves and change what need to be done, but you don't have enough financial support in that area, you will not be able to do it either. And then again, I think one of the major mistake that organization miss out is forget that we can use the customized solution. A lot of engineers are out there, and a lots of software or platform that you can pick out. And then again, some people might think, but it's just temporary to solve the problem. It's not going to help me into the long term. And you need to come down to the point that what is it then that you want to do. You need to balance it out. You need to trade off the area that you don't have. If you don't have enough financial to support the new tool or new talent, you need to pick and choose the area that would help you to skip further into the future. But yes, it is temporary, but it is better than just not doing it at all. Or if you have enough finance or capital to invest into the new talents or new technology, then go ahead and do it. Don't just wait for it, because time never stop. So I think that is the impact that we need to do.
Amazing, Jet, amazing. You always cover everything. You don't give me a small point to add. You cover everything. Thanks so much. We have a question here from our friend Ayman Hassan. Everything has threats and opportunities. So I will search for opportunities in COVID 19. What opportunities that COVID open and will affect positively on supply chain management?
Well, that is a great question, really. So I think the great opportunity at during the COVID-19 is certainly the best use of your time. So I would think that you use this time to update your skill. You know, a lots of online school, a lots of online training that is going on, and use those time wisely. And I don't talk about, you need to pay a lots of money to do it, because some classes are very reasonable cost, like edx.org or coursera.org. You can, learn, and those classes are actually provided from, well-known organization, and you can update your knowledge. You can get certificate as well. So I think that is the best opportunity during the COVID-19. So update yourself and use your time wisely to be more productive. Don't you think so,
Yes,
Shady?
it's okay. Can I add the small point, adding to your great answer for this question from Ayman? I think on supply chain management, there is 2 points where having a chance to enhance logistics and the digitalizing the supply chain. Because uh, everybody understands the situation of the COVID-19. We have a social distance. Everything should be done remotely as much as we can. So it was in the same time threat for logistics, and at the same time it was a good opportunity for all companies working in logistics and transportation. So I think it was a great time to gain from this pandemic. If it was a small answer from my side, adding to your great answer to that question.
That's awesome.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I think the connection. There is something in the connection. Do you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I can hear you.
Yes.
I'm not.
Now.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe the problem in my connection.
Maybe it's mine as well, but I can hear you. I can hear everything you said.
Thanks. Thank you. So, Jet, let me talk about the reverse logistics and how it works with the sustainability. Uh, as important, reverse logistics is to keep operating costs low, and it is an equally important for the company sustainability practices. But the goal of the reverse logistics is to maximize values from the assets. And at the same time, we have to keep up the the sustainability. So my question here, and I know and I understand that you are an expert in supply in sustainability. Could you please tell us how reverse logistics works with sustainability?
It's certainly counterproductive in some way, because when you talk about reverse logistics, people return items, here and there. And I would like to point out that as the consumer, we need to be more responsible. You need to take more responsibility when you purchase products, because without what satisfying your need, of course, but
Sure.
you need to think about the planet and environment as well. So a lot of people are aware of that. So to answer your question, how the reverse logistic work in the sustainability is actually against each other
Yes.
in some ways. And
That's why I'm asking this question.
yeah, it's against each other, because sustainability is what it's try to keep things minimize the impact that we have on the environment and the world and the society in general. But reverse logistic is what sends the package back, sends the product back to the reverse sides of the the logistic that we try to send back to the seller. Now, I would like to say that some people may think that by sending the product back and you don't need to worry about the thing that you need to get rid of it. But then again, some companies have picked up that they can't satisfy those customers all the time because what? The shipping costs are not cheap, right? They're very expensive. If you do the free shipment, people will keep sending them back more, and a lot of company do not allow that anymore. They just said no free shipping for return order unless they charge you big bucks and you already paid for it. And I would say how to maximize those reverse items. I would say we should take that into supporting um, economic, like you let the other company take care of that part, and then let them deal with that so that you can sell those products, and those company can use those products to support the other initiative. So I would say there is no straight answer to that. There are lots of ways that you can solve that problem, but nothing is going to solve if the desire of wanting more products never ends, or shopping without taking responsibility, right? That is the reason why the circular economy have come into play, because we need to change the business model. The business model of the traditional one is produce the product and sell to consumer, right? And we assume that everybody take responsibility to clean up after themselves. You clean up after the packaging that you have. You're gonna recycle and all that, but that is the flaw. Just that assumption is already the flaw, because people don't take responsibility. Not everyone take responsibility very seriously. They don't even take. Some people don't even take care of the people that they know. Those kind of thing. Thinking about the animals or product is certainly far outreach that we can reach those kind of responsibility. So I would say, how can we change that? It's important. How can we change people's mind, or the way that people think just about themselves? We need to think beyond just ourselves, in my idea. But it's always start with ourselves and start with the people that we know. And it more and more people would join the crowd, then we can get the movement going, right? But by talking about it and care about it, then at least from our part is done. Maybe it will be more people to join that, and see that the significance and impact in environment and social impact that we can do as well. But then again, I would say reverse logistic and sustainability, I don't think it can go hand in hand. It's certainly just the source of demand itself is already reversed with one another. Now, some other company have tried to minimize that, such as let the consumer return the item where there's nearest store. That way, they put what? They put the consumer to drive or to send the package to the closest area instead. So that's minimize the shipping distance. But then again, it's still there. The product is still there, right? The reverse item is still there. So it doesn't really solve if the demand of wanting to return is still there. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sure. And I can steal from the question of Ayman. Reverse logistics is a negative point, threats, but it can be transferred to opportunity. Because when it's done correctly and fast, it increases at the same time the loyalty of the customer. I have a case of myself in my life. I have a problem in a product I bought in online. Then I made the reverse order. Then they did it correctly and very fast with a very honest way. By the way, my loyalty to that website increased.
Mhm.
So I think it's a chance to use the reverse logistics to increase customer satisfaction. By the way, We have Ahmed Musa, nice comment. He's telling you your insights on Industry 4.0 and sustainability is amazing. I have to steal you in a LinkedIn live session with himself.
Aw,
He's inviting
thank,
you for a live show.
thank you, Ahmed Musa. I am also
Sh-
your fan too,
Sure,
so
Jet, you will add value to anyone.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing your insight and for being here with us. Appreciate it. Thank you,
Thank
Ayman.
you, Ivan. Thanks for the answer. Jet, I know your time is very full of a lot of things. I took you from your work today. I know that. So I appreciate your time. You add a lot of information to me, myself, and I think our lovely audience. I can't tell you anything more. You really made me happy today to join me in this live show. And I'm sure that we will have another show to cover the sustainability as much as we
I,
can.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And it is with my great honor to be here. Thank you for having me. And thank you everyone for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, Jet. Thanks our audience. Stay tuned for the coming episode, coming week, inshallah. Thanks everyone, and goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.